Imagine if every time someone insulted you, you smiled. If every setback became your fuel. If every fear turned into fire inside you. Sounds impossible? That's exactly what the Stoics mastered. Today, I'll show you how Stoicism can help you control your emotions, not by suppressing them, but by understanding them, transforming them, and using them to grow. And believe me, this might just change your life. But first, thank you. Seriously, your support means the world to me. Every comment, every like, every new subscriber, it helps this channel grow and reach more people searching for meaning, strength, and peace. So, if you find value in this video, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment with your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe. Let's build a community of inner warriors together. Now, grab a cup of tea or coffee, take a deep breath, and get ready. Because the Stoics aren't just dusty philosophers from ancient scrolls. They were emotional gladiators. And today, we're unlocking their secret playbook. Imagine a storm. Lightning flashes, the wind howls, the trees bend toward the ground. In the middle of this chaos stands a man who remains calm and composed. He is not pretending, he is truly calm. This is called Stoicism, and it is not magic, it is a skill. It is the ability to control one's emotions and not let them control oneself. The Stoics taught that we do not choose what happens to us, but we always have the choice how to react. Epictetus said, "It is not things that disturb people, but our own judgments about them. Emotions themselves are not the enemy, but if we let them rule us, we are no longer free." A modern person may be highly educated, successful, and have many followers on social media, but at the same time, they may be emotionally enslaved. A sideways glance from someone can ruin their day, and criticism on the internet can bring their self-esteem to zero. Stoics would simply smile at such things. Emotions are like the weather. They can change from one moment to the next. Today, we may be feeling stormy, but tomorrow, the sun may shine. However, there must be something within us that remains constant. This inner core, this realization that all external events are not within our control, should not determine our mood or condition. One of the key principles of Stoicism is the distinction between things that are within our control and those that are not. While we cannot control the weather, the words of others, or even illness, we can control our own perceptions, choices, and actions. Stoics emphasize the importance of emotional intelligence, which is not about suppressing emotions, but rather about understanding and processing them. When we feel anger, we should not try to suppress it by force, but rather look at it as a stranger who has entered our home. We should ask ourselves why they have come and whether we need them in our lives. Imagine you are in a market. There are merchants who scream, cheat, and are rude. But you, as a philosopher, came to shop, not to quarrel. If someone raises their voice, it doesn't mean that you have to respond in kind. You can smile and move on. In today's world, emotional management is like a superpower. We are bombarded with triggers from advertising, social media, news, and other sources. Everything seems to be pressing and annoying. However, the Stoic individual stands out like a statue in a storm, calm and focused. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and philosopher, ruled his empire and himself. In his reflections, he wrote, "You can be invincible if you don't let things you can't control upset you." This is a path to inner freedom and peace. It is important to understand that Stoicism is not about detachment from life. It is about participating in life without attachment to outcomes. Do your best and let go of the results. Failure is a lesson, and victory is an opportunity to learn more. In any situation, you are in control of your response. Imagine a modern-day Stoic person on their way to work. They are on the subway and someone steps on their foot or someone is rude, but they don't let it get to them. They know it's just external noise, and their goal is to get through the day with dignity and not lose themselves. Emotional balance is a journey, and it doesn't happen overnight. Stoics train like athletes, asking themselves questions every day. What upset me today? Why? How can I respond more wisely tomorrow? Example, someone writes something offensive to you in the comments. Instead of reacting immediately, Stoic pauses and analyzes the situation. He asks himself if the person is expressing their own pain or if it's just his own inner world. The answer comes, and he decides not to respond in anger. Stoics often use the technique of negative visualization. It's simple, but powerful. They imagine losing something they value, not to scare themselves, but to appreciate it and be prepared. They imagine losing their job, friend, money, or home, but they know they are not their possessions or their position. They are who they are, inside. This helps them stay calm and centered. Many people think that being stoic means being cold and heartless. They believe that if you don't feel anything, then you must be insensitive. However, this is not true. Stoicism is about clarity and understanding. It is about feeling, but not letting those feelings consume you. It's like standing on a cliff and watching a raging sea. You can see everything that's happening, but you are above it all. A person who practices Stoicism can still cry and feel grief, but they don't let those emotions control them. They use pain as an opportunity for growth. This is why Stoicism is experiencing a resurgence today. People are turning to ancient wisdom for guidance and support. Imagine waking up every morning and asking yourself, what would a Stoic person do today? This simple question can change the way you approach your day. Instead of reacting out of fear or panic, you can start each day with intention and purpose. One of the most beautiful aspects of Stoicism is the idea of fire. Epictetus once said, if you add something fragrant to a fire, it becomes stronger and even more fragrant. This is similar to the idea that the soul of a Stoic can become stronger and brighter through challenges. It never goes out, but rather turns pain into strength. Emotional calm is not about inaction, but rather acting from a place of clarity, free from fear and anger. Imagine a skilled surgeon who cuts precisely and efficiently without panic. This is the mindset of a Stoic in difficult times. When Marcus Aurelius lost loved ones, he didn't scream at the heavens. He simply wrote in his journal, "It didn't happen to me. It just happened," which doesn't imply he didn't feel the pain, but rather that he refused to let it destroy him. Emotions are like guests. Some are welcome and some are not. But it is not necessary to cater to everyone who comes. Stoics choose who to listen to and who to ignore. This is freedom. It is not an emotional void, but an ordered emotional experience. How can we practice this every day? Firstly, awareness. Stoics didn't sit in meditation. They were aware of themselves. Marcus Aurelius started his day with a reflection. Today, I will encounter a fool, a liar, and a brute. He was prepared, so he wasn't surprised. Secondly, an evening reflection. Each day is a lesson. At the end of the day, a Stoic asks themselves, Where did I fail? Where did I disappoint myself? What could I have done better? This is not self-criticism, it is growth. It is taking care of both the mind and body. Thirdly, a reminder of the fragility of life. Memento mori, remember death. Not out of fear, but in order to avoid wasting time on trivial matters. To evaluate each emotion in relation to the greater scheme of life. Is anger worth 1 hour of my precious time? The Stoics wrote letters to themselves, and we can do the same. Whenever you feel anxious, take a moment to write to yourself. As Epictetus said to his students, you don't need to worry. It's out of your control. It doesn't matter. Sometimes one letter can make all the difference. For example, you didn't get promoted at work and you're feeling hurt and angry. The Stoic would remind himself that he did his best. The decision was beyond his control, and he should continue to do his best in the future. Everything else is irrelevant. Or if a loved one betrays you, your first reaction might be pain and anger. The Stoic allows himself to feel these emotions, but then asks himself if they are truly justified. He won't seek revenge, but rather growth and understanding. Emotional peace is a choice. It's like standing at a crossroads. One path leads to panic, anger, and resentment, while the other leads to clarity, acceptance, and wisdom. Every time you make a decision, you choose which path to take. The Stoics didn't deny pain. They understood that it's a part of life. However, they believed that suffering is a choice we make. Physical pain is real, but our emotional response to it is something we can change. We have the power to control our suffering. Epictetus, a slave who suffered physically, remained strong in spirit. His teachings inspired emperors because he understood that our minds are free even if our bodies are not. No one can steal our souls if we don't let them. The modern world is fast-paced, with deadlines and fear of missing out. Toxicity in the environment is also a challenge for emotions. However, Stoic is not running away from these challenges. He is not hiding. Instead, he faces them head-on like a soldier going into battle with honor, clarity, and dignity. One of the most powerful Stoic techniques is the reversal of meaning. When you get criticized, it can be an opportunity to improve. If you have been betrayed, it can teach you to distinguish between the real and false. When you fall, it is an opportunity to rise stronger. Every emotional challenge is like a forging process. It can either break you or make you stronger. It all depends on how you react internally. The Stoics ask, what can I learn from this? How can I become wiser? Imagine an athlete who doesn't let the pain from a workout discourage him. He sees it as growth. A Stoic treats mental pain in the same way, as a sign that there is something to improve. We have a weak point, and we need to work on it to become stronger. Stoicism is not about being emotionless. It is about inner stability and not letting emotions control you. It means becoming the conductor of your inner orchestra, feeling emotions but controlling them. A Stoic is not someone who is always serious. They can laugh, rejoice, and love, but they don't lose themselves in emotion. They are the center, like the sun in the center of a system. The planets may spin around them, but they remain constant. Each of us has the potential to become like this. It doesn't take much effort, but it does require practice. Each day we can practice being more aware, less reactive, and taking a pause. This is how we build the greatness of our souls. Today, you can start by remembering the last time you felt overwhelmed by anger anxiety, or tears. Imagine how you would react in a stoic manner. What would Epictetus or Marcus Aurelius say? How would they approach the situation? Then, ask yourself what you really want to experience and how you can achieve it without relying on external circumstances. The answer may surprise you because the answer is always within you. It's in your ability to choose your reaction. Emotional freedom is not isolation, it is maturity. It is like a captain leading a ship through a storm. The waves may be high, but the captain keeps his course. He is not afraid of the storm, and he includes it in his plan. We often react instantly, but a stoic person is like an experienced old man. He takes a break, and power is born from this pause. He notices the emotion, understands it, and chooses the path. This makes him unwavering. Every day is an opportunity to become more stoic, not for pride, but for peace of mind. It is not about seeming strong, but about being free inside. It is about not burning with emotions, but using them to light the way. Today's world loves emotions, hype, reactivity, and drama. But these things can be exhausting. A stoic person is the antidote, like a cool spring on a hot day, offering what millions are seeking, inner silence. Being stoic does not mean suppressing emotions, but rather allowing them to flow through and transform. Fear can turn into courage, anger into determination, and sadness into gratitude. These are the alchemical processes of the soul, the oldest and strongest. You are capable of this, though it may not happen immediately. It is not an easy path, but every day brings you closer. Each time you choose to not be angry, not be offended, or not be dramatic, you grow stronger. You are building your inner garden, where emotions are like carefully cultivated plants, not weeds, and the soul is fertile soil, not wild. Stoicism is not about being a cold stone, but rather a well-tended garden. Emotions are not obstacles, but flowers that can bloom into beautiful expressions. The soul is not a wild wilderness, but a fertile field where growth is nurtured. This is a path of beauty, strength, and freedom. Lastly, Stoicism should not be seen as a trend or a philosophy for social media. It is a way of living, a daily choice to be someone who creates their emotions rather than being driven by them. Imagine waking up in the morning and instead of grabbing your phone, you ask yourself a question. What would a Stoic do today? The day starts differently, not out of panic, but with intention. You step into a world that is constantly changing, where news, prices, and people's moods are all up in the air. But within you, you have a solid foundation. You know that what's outside is subject to change, but what's within is under your control. This is your Stoic core. In difficult times, remember that you can't control what happens to you, but you can always choose how you react. This is the key to true freedom. Not political, but spiritual. Don't let your emotions rule you. They're just signals, not the captain. You're in charge. Listen to them, but don't obey them. They can advise, but they can't dictate your will. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You can get rid of a lot of things if you just let go of your opinion about them." Often, it's not the event itself that hurts us, but our thoughts about it. Stoics learn to distinguish between facts and dramatizations. Let's say someone has been rude to you. The fact is, the person said something rude, but your thought is that they don't respect you and that you are insignificant. This thought leads to emotions like pain and resentment. The Stoics say, let's delete this thought. Let's focus on the fact. They encourage us to not let other people's words ruin our day. This takes practice, but it gives us strength. After a month, we no longer react to every criticism, and a year later, we act like Socrates, who was insulted but simply smiled and said, "He's talking about himself, not me." Emotions can be like waves, but Stoicism is like a rock, not because we are insensitive, but because we are rooted in ourselves. We know who we are and what is important. We don't let every storm destroy us, and that's what makes him so strong. Power is not found in shouting or aggression, it lies in clarity, the ability to act wisely even in the face of a raging storm. This is the art of Stoicism, and you can learn it. One effective way to do so is by imagining a wise person like Epictetus and asking yourself, what would they do in this situation? It's not a game, it's a mental exercise that helps you think differently and live differently. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions, it's about understanding them. Like turning on a light in a dark room, you see exactly what's there. You no longer struggle in the darkness. Emotions become clear, not monsters. Then you realize that anxiety is fear of losing control, and anger is defense against pain. You say, "Thank you for showing up. I see you, but now I will decide what to do." That's true maturity. When you become emotionally mature, you no longer become a hostage to the moods of others. If someone is angry, you do not have to become angry in return. If they are panicking, you do not need to panic with them. You stay centered. This is the main benefit of Stoicism. It does not make you superior to others. It makes you more human, deeper, because you can still feel, but you are not drowning in emotions. You can love, but without losing yourself. You can live, but with awareness. It is a journey that cannot be completed in a day, but every step along the way makes you feel lighter, more clear, stronger. It does not matter who you are, a student, parent, business person, or artist. This journey is open to everyone, and it starts right now. The Stoics said, start small. Do not react immediately. Take a breath. View the situation from a distance, as if you have already lived through it and are remembering this moment. How do you want to live this moment? That is what you should do. This approach changes everything. You stop being at the mercy of circumstances. You become the author of your own life. Even when things are difficult, even when it hurts, real philosophy manifests itself, not in books, but in our daily lives. Epictetus said, "You are not a vessel to be filled, but a light to be lit." Stoicism is like a flame that doesn't burn with aggression, but shines with clarity. With this light, we can illuminate not only our own lives, but also the paths of others. Every day presents us with an opportunity to choose how we respond to situations. We can choose to respond with panic or calm, jealousy or respect, anger or wisdom. This choice is not a quick win, but a journey. But it's the journey that turns a simple person into a great one. So, the choice is in our hands. Our emotions don't have to control us. We are in control of our inner fortress. And if we strengthen its walls every day, no storm will be able to break us. Dear friends, if you have made it this far, you have taken the first step towards mastering your inner universe. Do not be afraid of your emotions. They are not meant to destroy you, but to help you understand yourself better and become stronger. Stoicism is more than just a dry theory. It is a living force that can ignite within you. If you feel a spark of this philosophy within,